Good morning, my dear friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I am going to solve a lead code problem. Today's lead code problem is depending on this problem, that is zero array transformation 1. Let us see what the problem statement deals with. You are given an integer array nums. You are given an integer array of nums of length n and 2D array of queries, where query is li, ri. Queries li means left element and Ri means right element. Select a subset of indices within a range of Li, Ri in nums. Decrement the values at a selected indices by 1. That means they will be given an nums array. Nums is equal to, suppose nums is equal to 1, 0, 1. And queries is equal to 0 to 2. From 0 to 2, we should decrement the value by the value or the selected indices by 1. Given Li is equal to 0, Ri is equal to 2. From 0 to 2, we should decrement the values. Now nums would become decrement the values within the range of 0 to 2 with 1. That is, this would become 0, this would become minus 1, this will become 0. Now, we should find whether it is a 0 array or not. After the decrement of the value, we should find the whether it is 0 or not. A 0 array is an integer where all elements are equal to 0. 0 array means whether all the elements in this nums array, that is nums array, is 0 or not. We check whether this nums array is 0 array. If it is true, it is possible to transform nums is 0 array or return false if it is not a 0 array. Here, negative values, when we get the negative values, if nums of particular index value, nums of particular index value is less than 0, treat that nums index as 0 only. Treat it is the one condition. If the nums of I is less than 0, we should treat nums of I is equal to 0. Now, nums array will become nums array equal to 0, 0, 0. This is 0 array. So we return true. What is the brute force approach for this problem? To solve this problem is what I have said. We keep Li, Ri. We iterate through Li to Ri in the nums array. We iterate through Li to Ri. We decrement if it is in the subset. That is, it is in the subset. Li and Ri are in the subset elements. If all the subset element consists 0, 0, 0, then it is 0 array. If not, it is not. Else, it is not a 0 array. That is return false. We iterate through the Li, Ri. For which elements we should increment Li and Li to Ri is query elements. Let's suppose, let's calculate the complexity of this. Let's suppose the length of queries is q and we iterate through the values up to n values. Now the time complexity will be O of n into q. If q is nearly equal to n, then the time complexity is O of n square, which is high. So we try to optimize that solution. Let's see how this brute force approach will be. Initially, what I have said, we iterate through the query elements. It is the initial step, first step. Let's suppose left element is equal to q of 0 and right element is equal to q of 1. We increment from left to right. L is left, R is right. We iterate L to R. That means in the query elements, we iterate from L to R. For every value of L to R, we decrement the value of the nums array. Let's suppose 1, 0, 1. Let query element 0, 2. 0, 1, 2. Left, Li, Ri. Li, Ri. From 0 to 2, we decrement the values. What would be the values? We decrement the values by 1. It is 0, it is -1, it is 0. Here, this condition states that if any element in the nums array after the changes, if any element consists of negative element, we keep that element as 0 only. We keep that element as 0. So now we check for all the elements in nums after the changes. After the changes, we check whether all the values in the nums is 0 or not. If it is 0, return true or else false. It is complexity. It is highly not optimal solution because it is taking O of n square of time complexity. We try to optimize this solution. We we optimize this solution using an approach called prefix sum. It is an algorithm which is used to solve the problems. It is a algorithm which is used to solve problem. What is prefix sum algorithm states that suppose 1, 2, 3, 4. It is an array. It is an array. It keeps track of the element. How will we calculate some of these elements here? Some of the elements we iterate through the every element. We iterate through the every element and we keep the track of the sum array, sum variable. If suppose they have asked what is the value at element 2 from 0 to 2, from what is the sum of the value from 0 to 2. We can calculate this using a subarray, another array of same size of nums. Let's suppose n, it is answer. Prefix sum is a, remember my dear friends, this is important algorithm. It is one of the algorithm to solve the problem. I think you will note this problem and this approach of prefix sum. Let's suppose initialize first variable as first index value in this. Now we, after iterating through the second element, we add the previous element, that is 3, 2 plus 1. After iterating the next number, we add the number before it, that is 6. After increment of a number, we add this total array elements sum, that is 10. If they ask you sum, what is the sum from 0 to 2? If we calculate again and again, the complexity will be increasing. If we return array of 2, if we return answer of 2 or array of 2, then this is the sum from 0 to 2. This is sum from 0 to 2. This is sum from 0 to 0. This is sum from 0 to 1. This is sum from 0 to 2. This is sum from 0 to 3. This is the answer array. This is a prefix sum approach. Let's see how this prefix array sum is going to be useful to solve this problem. It is same as brute force approach. We only keep an array called difference, which is used to calculate the in which we solve the difference of the value from previous element and the present difference. If it is greater than 0, then we return false. Let's see. Int n is equal to nums dot length. Int difference is equal to new int of n plus 1. We will see why we initiate this value as n plus 1. Initially fill difference value as z. let's take an example and we go step by step. Let's suppose 1, 0, 1 and queries is equal to 0, comma 2, 1, 0, 1. We take n is equal to here, n is equal to 3. We take difference element, difference array as size of 4. That means if we take size of 4, it will be indexed from 0 to 3. Initially, arrays, we fill arrays as 0. It is not needed in Java because in Java it is predefined and it gives the initiates with 0. For every element in query, it will be left element, it will be left, it will be right. Instead of iterating again and again in the nums array, we iterate through the queries array only once. Only once. Then time complexity would be O of n. We iterate through the nums array only once. Then the time complexity will become O of n. So with all this, the time complexity would become O of n only. Initially what they have given, queries as 0, comma 2. We initiate left element as q of 0, and q of 1 is right element. We see here for the different in the difference array, we increase the left element. We increase the left element by 1. We increase the left element by 1. In difference array for right element, we increment the next element to this. That means what the prefix sum says, if we calculate from 0 to 1, it will store the answer in the second element. In similarly, we calculate the sum or decrement the value. Here the condition is decrementing the value. Here we decrement the value. Difference of 3 is minus 1. Now the difference element difference consists of difference is equal to 1, comma 0, comma 0, comma minus 1. Here we calculate the prefix sum of this prefix sum of difference value. Here we calculate prefix sum of difference value. The prefix sum is equal to, now difference is equal to 0 to 0 is 1. 0 to 1 is 1. 1 to 2 is 1. 1 to 3 is 0. So difference array consists of 1, 1, 1, 0. It is the point. Now we should calculate the here for 0 transformations, we should calculate the difference between the given array and calculated array. What is the calculated array? Difference is the calculated array. Nums is the given array. We calculate the difference of this element. If no difference is between them, that is 0, then it is 0 element. If it is not, then it is, we return false. So given nums is equal to 1, 0, 1. Remember, my dear friends, why I am doing nums minus difference, because 1, 1, 1. Nums minus difference because subtraction between, because if these two elements will cancel out each other, then the element is 0 element. By iterating through the all elements, we calculate the whether if one element in a 0 array, suppose one element, all the elements are 0. If this one element is 1, then it returns false. If all the elements are 0, then it will return true. This is the problem. Now we subtract nums of I with the difference of I. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. This is 0, minus 1, 0. If the value is less than 1 also, less than 0 also, we treat this element as 0 only. Here they have given in constraint that if it is less than 0, treat it as 0 only. Now, what is the answer? Answer is equal to 0, comma 0, comma 0. It is 0 array. So we return true. Let us see this, whether it is here. What I have discussed here, it is a statement in which for every element we calculate the difference. If it is greater than 0, we return false. If it is greater than 0 means the element consists of in this way. All the elements consist of 0, but any of the number is 1, we return false. For any of the number, if we get 1, we return false. So this is the approach, and I have discussed how this can be solved using brute force method, and this can be optimized. Why we should optimize this solution? I have discussed why we should optimize this solution, and if you solve below, I have given the GitHub link or Leetcode solution link. You can see how this brute force approach is going to affect the answer, and it will it will be succeeded, but at one test case it will be failed. That is for larger number of values. This will be the approach to solve easier or optimal solution. Thank you, my dear friends. Let us see today's Leetcode solution in the next video. Thank you, my dear friends. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share with your friends. Thank you.